In this video, we're going to go over the SuperTrend indicator inside the Predator. That means how we can enter trades with the SuperTrend cross, how we can use the SuperTrend to filter out other auto entries, how we can set our stop, and even trail that stop using the SuperTrend. So let's go into our settings to set that up. To kick things off, I'm going to show you how to enter a trade at the SuperTrend cross. The first step with any auto entry is we must be in either hybrid or classic Predator mode. For this example, I'm just going to stick with hybrid because that's what most people are using anyways. So we're scrolling down to our O2 auto entry section where we can see all of the auto entries available in the Predator. So for this example, I'm going to select the Show SuperTrend Cross button. When I do that, it's going to reveal the SuperTrend indicator inside the indicator section. And this is just so we can customize the SuperTrend exactly how we want it. The SuperTrend indicator we're using here today is the same one from the NinjaTrader user app share. It was requested by a lot of users, so we ended up putting it into the Predator. So big shout out to the original author of this indicator. But moving on with our options, we have the ability to choose ATR or adaptive. Here, most people are using ATR. You can choose the period, you can choose your multiplier, and the moving average for your SuperTrend. And I'm just going to leave it like this because these are the original settings when you first download the indicator from the user app share. And in this first example, we're just using the SuperTrend to enter when it crosses. That means we're going to enter long when the price crosses the upper red line and the bottom green SuperTrend shows underneath the candle. And we're going to enter short at the complete opposite, when the price crosses below the green line and the red SuperTrend line shows above our candle. So how we do that is we just select the enter at the SuperTrend break, and that's automatically going to look for those options. And now we're just going to set up an order and see how this works on the chart. So we have a few additional options when it comes to SuperTrend. We can select our stop loss. We can set it right at the SuperTrend when we enter. So for this example, that's what I'm going to do. And just to keep things simple, I'm going to set my first profit target at 25 ticks, just how it comes. And guys, you can customize your order however you want. This is just a quick example to show how it works. Then for my second profit target, again, I'm going to enter with a market order. I'm going to set no profit target, but I'm going to set a trail stop, and we can actually trail our stop using the SuperTrend. Let's go over these options really quick. Your trail stop offset, that is just going to offset your stop from the SuperTrend point. So for example, a value of 0 is going to put your stop directly on the SuperTrend line. So if we're going long and we put a value of 2, that is going to put your stop 2 ticks below the SuperTrend. And if you're going short and your stop is above, a value of 2 is going to put your stop 2 ticks above your SuperTrend. So it's just pushing it further away whether you're long or you're short. The SuperTrend trail period is just how many candles back it's going to look at the SuperTrend. So a value of 1 is going to set your stop directly at the previous candle. A value of 2 is going to set your stop at the SuperTrend value 2 candles away. For this one, I just want to trail the most recent SuperTrend, so I'm just going to keep it at 1. Now we must define exactly when we want our automatic trail stop to start. If you want to start trailing your stop right away as soon as you enter, and you want to make sure your stop is always trailing that SuperTrend, you can just set it to tick and set it to 1. This means once your profit target hits 1 tick into profit, it's going to automatically start trailing. And in most cases, this is going to be pretty instant. So I think that's all I really need for this example. Let's hit apply and see how it works on the chart. All right, so now that we have this enabled on our chart, we're waiting for the price to cross below the green SuperTrend and the red SuperTrend line to form above our current candle. So I'm just going to hit play here.
Order submitted.
And we entered into our trade. We have both of our stops set directly on the red SuperTrend line. And we also have our first profit target of 25 ticks. So everything seems to be working. Let's hit play. And I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. So here, because we hit our 1 tick into profit, our second profit target started trailing the super trend. We actually never set a trail stop for the first target, so that's why it's not trailing. But you can
Order
always
filled.
customize that if you want. So there we hit our first profit target, and our second order is just trailing down. There is no profit target for this one. We are just waiting until we get stopped out. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit.
Order submitted.
So here we got stopped out, but it detected a cross for the long side. So again, we entered a trade, our first profit target 25 tick profit, and then our second order is just trailing the super trend. So I'm just going to play it and then move on and see how this works. So we'll see, maybe we get stopped out.
Order filled.
So there we hit our first profit target, and now we're just trailing the super trend until we get stopped out. So again, I'm just going to speed this up and then we can move on.
Order submitted.
And it's just going to keep doing that until we stop it. If you don't want to enter in the opposite direction, you can always just toggle your auto entry buttons. So you can disable the long, you can disable the short, or you can just simply turn the strategy off and it's not going to keep re-entering. But that is completely up to you. Let's go back into the properties and go through a few more functions. All right, so we use SuperTrend to enter into a trade. But now, how do we use SuperTrend to filter out another one of our auto entries? So whether you're using a reversal entry, an engulfing pattern, even a moving average cross, or a custom signal, you can filter out your trades using the SuperTrend. And how this works is it's only going to take long trades when the green SuperTrend is underneath the candle. And the opposite for the shorts, it's only going to take short trades when the red super trend is above your candles. So let's set that up quickly and see how it works. So here we're starting with a fresh template. Again, I'm going to select the show super trend cross button. And that's just going to reveal my super trend properties. In this section, instead of entering at the super trend break, we're going to come up here and filter for auto entries. And this is just going to tell it to filter for auto entries. So I hope that's pretty straightforward. Once we have that, we can set up our auto entry. So here I'm going to select show reversal button. I'm going to enter a reversal and I'm going to color them on the chart as well. And I'm going to do the same for the engulfing candles just so we can see them on the chart. Now again, let's set up our order. For this one, I'm going to set up a super trend stop. My first profit target is going to be, let's say 50 ticks. Then I'm going to set up our super trend trail stop. And it's going to trigger the trail stop for the first target once it hits 1 tick. So basically right away. Now I'm going to set my second profit target. And this one, I'm going to remove the profit target just because I want to get stopped out with that super trend again. Now I'm just going to select the super trend again. And this one, I'm not going to start trailing my second target until it reaches 50 ticks. So that is the same amount as our first profit target. So what I'm saying is my initial stop is going to stay the same until it reaches that 50 tick target. And then it's going to start trailing the super trend. And again, just a reminder, this is not advice on how to trade. I'm just showing different examples so you guys can learn exactly how to configure this to your own settings. So with that, I'm just going to hit apply, hit OK, and I'm going to enable it on the chart. Now, before I start playing this, I just want to take a look at the bars that have been colored in. So anything that is under the red super trend is going to be a valid trade. So here we had one engulfing candle that was colored in. That one didn't work out, but that's okay. Here, none of these reversals are valid because they are on the opposite side of the super trend. So we need a bullish reversal to form above the green super trend. At this point, it was still a bearish super trend, so there was no valid bullish reversal. Same thing for the bearish one. It formed above our green super trend. There was no red super trend above it, so it's not valid for a trade. We move back a little further. Here we can see these bearish engulfing candles formed below the red super trend, so they're colored in, they would have been valid trades. Now here we have one bullish reversal that formed above our green super trend. So this reversal would have been valid for a trade. And let me see. And here again, just another quick example. A red bearish reversal formed underneath our red super trend. So that one was valid for a trade. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to play it just so we can see how it works in real time or in playback in this scenario. All right, I'm just going to speed it up maybe a little bit.
Order submitted.
All right, so here we had our red super trend form above our candle. So only shorts are valid. We had our bearish engulfing candle form and it entered into a trade. All right, so we had our first order that we set to start trailing right away. So that's why this one is following the super trend. And remember, our second order is not going to start trailing until our first profit target of 50 ticks gets hit. So let's hit play.
Order filled.
So as soon as it hits 50 ticks, our second order started its trail stop. So I'm going to just keep playing it.
Order filled.
All right, so now that we got stopped out, we have our green super trend form underneath the candles. So now we're looking for a long. And this is going to be in the form of a reversal or an engulfing pattern.
Order submitted.
All right, so here it reversed a little bit, but then a bullish reversal candle formed above our green super trend. It set our stops right at the super trend and a 50 tick profit target for our first partial. So again, I'm going to hit play and see how all of these bullish reversals are colored in. That means any one of these reversals would have been a valid entry point for this trade. So I'm going to maybe speed this up a little bit. All right, so here our first order started trailing right away. And once it hits our 50 tick profit target, our second order should start trailing.
Order filled.
There we hit our target, and now it's just trailing until we get stopped out.
Order filled.
And there we go. So guys, that's all there really is to using the built-in super trend for the Predator. So now you know how to enter with the super trend, filter out your trades with the super trend, set your initial stop, and trail that stop with the super trend. I hope you guys found this video useful. As always, take care, enjoy.